to succeed?
Magkakasama po sila. Of course, again, it's no guarantee. Bid lang po natin yun sa yung UN Security Council non-permanent seat, Your Honor.
But if there is a direct correlation, or if you're unsure if there's a direct correlation to our success in the ASEAN to the UN Security Council seat, then you're just basing it purely on speculation. You cannot base such a large budget of 2.7 billion on speculation whether or not we would get the UN Security Council seat.
With the indulgence of the Honorable Kiko Barzaga, if he may allow me, just to align everything, I believe the sponsor mentioned the total budget of the PCO, including its attached agencies and corporations, and that's the more than 2 billion. Can the distinguished sponsor confirm this? Can the distinguished sponsor confirm it? It's the total budget of the PCO, including attached agencies and corporations.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Your Honor.
Yes. However, incorporated in the budget, as the concern of the Honorable Barsagas has stated earlier, is a budget for the ASEAN. Does this mean that the Philippines is hosting ASEAN meetings and gathering?
Yes, Your Honor. We have 167 clusters of meetings for the ASEAN.
Okay,
So
and for
would
that,
be
just
for
to
the bulk.
clarify the Honorable Barsaga's question, how much within the budget of the PCO will be allocated for the ASEAN? Maybe a ballpark figure. And am I correct, Honorable Kiko Barzaga? That's the contention that you would like to pursue.
Yes, so the problem here is creating a budget based on speculation. If one of our goals is the UN Security Council and ASEAN is just a speculative case for that, or for our chance of getting a seat in the UN Security Council, then the portion intended for ASEAN is just based on speculation.
Well, with the indulgence of the distinguished sponsor, actually the ASEAN is a different entity. The UN Security Council is a seat that every country aspires, but there's no corresponding budget for that. The ASEAN is a platform where all governments can talk to each other, lobby with each other, and put forward the interests of our country above our neighboring ASEAN countries. Distinguished sponsor, please
That is
proceed.
correct. For clarity, the Deputy Speaker has clarified everything, Your Honor.
Okay, so it is completely separate that our purposes for hosting the ASEAN is not directly connected to our desire for a UN Security Council seat. Am I correct?
Can you repeat that again, Your Honor? Sorry.
Our purposes and our budget allocation for the hosting of ASEAN is not directly connected to our desire for a UN Security Council seat.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
That is a different occasion, Your Honor. It's a different.
Okay. What percentage of the PCO proposed budget would be spent on ASEAN?
Around 600 million for the ASEAN, Your Honor.
And what role would the PCO fill for the ASEAN?
They will be the primary agency to put our country in the best possible light. They will do the digital content. They will do all the communication in radio, print, billboard, all forms of media before, during, and after the ASEAN, Your Honor.
And primarily, the large percentage of the expenses there would be through advertising. Am I correct?
Not entirely, Your Honor.
What percentage would be through allocated to advertising for the ASEAN?
With due courtesy to the Honorable Barzaga, maybe the distinguished sponsor can explain that this budget encompasses all the trainings, meetings, the representations, as well as how our country will package, how PCO will package our country and position it
Yeah.
against our neighboring.
Yes, Your Honor, we will have all kinds of meetings, clustered meetings, and it will really entail a lot of expenses, professional services. We have our presentation expenses. International media will come in. International media centers will be put up, so that will constitute the bulk of all that expense, Your Honor.
So we will also be paying for the expenses of international media arriving here.
Your Honor, we will be the hosts, so it's automatic that we will, of course, be as the hosts. We will have to do
Just-
expenses for that.
And how much are we expected to spend on that?
As was said, Your Honor, as I mentioned, advertising expense, representation expense, media clusters, a lot of media cluster groups will be conducted. International media will come in. Those kinds of things, Your Honor.
Just to clarify, the international media coming in are guests. We don't pay for them, we don't spend for them, but we provide food for them. This is that
And-
the
For the International Media Center, Deputy Speaker, Your Honor.
so basically the ASEAN is a platform to put forward all the interests of our country, including collaboration. And we laud the distinguished sponsor.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. The Deputy Speaker has put some clarity in all that, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. That would be all. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you to our distinguished sponsor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, next to interpellate the sponsor, I move to recognize the Honorable Percy Sendanya from Party List Akbayan.
The Honorable Percy Sandanya of Party List Akbayan is hereby recognized.
Magandang gabi po, Madam Speaker. Magandang gabi po sa ating distinguished sponsor, the lady from Mandaluyong City. And good evening.